Welcome, this is video number 231 and today's video lecture is based on aggregate supply and aggregate demand model, and this is lecture number 5 in the series of lectures on introductory macroeconomics. So today we are going to discuss the aggregate demand aggregate supply model. Let me start with the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. If you look at the diagram, there is a downward sloping aggregate demand and there is a upward sloping aggregate supply curve, and the intersection of the two determines real output, that is GDP, and general price level. Building a model of aggregate supply and aggregate demand, some vocabulary concepts. Aggregate demand is the amount of total spending on domestic goods and services in an economy. Aggregate supply is the total quantity of output, that is real GDP, firms will produce and sell. Aggregate demand curve, the total spending on domestic goods and services at each aggregate price level, the total quantity of output that firms will produce and sell at each aggregate price level. Foreign price effect, if prices rises in other countries while remaining fixed in other countries, then goods in that country will be relatively more expensive compared to goods in the rest of the world. Interest rate effect, as the aggregate price level rises, the same purchases will take more money or credit to accomplish, driving up the interest rates. Long run, this is a period of time during which all wages and prices are fully flexible. Long run aggregate supply curve, which is a vertical line at potential GDP, showing no relationship between aggregate price level and real GDP in the long run. Potential GDP is the maximum quantity that an economy can produce given full employment of its existing levels of labor, physical capital, technology, and institutions, also known as the full employment GDP. Short run, it's a period of time during which wages and some prices are sticky in response to change in demand. Short run aggregate supply curve, it is a positive short-run relationship between the aggregate price level and real GDP, holding the prices of inputs fixed. Wealth effects, as price level increases, the buying power of savings that people have saved, stored up in bank accounts and other assets will diminish. Here is the aggregate supply curve. There is the short-run supply curve and the long run. The horizontal axis of the diagram shows real GDP, that is the level of GDP adjusted for inflation. The vertical axis shows the aggregate price level. The slope of an aggregate supply curve changes from nearly flat at its left to nearly vertical at its right. As the quantity produced increases, however, certain firms and industries will start running into limits. In the long run, all wages and prices are fully flexible. As a consequence, all the resources will be fully employed and real GDP will equal potential GDP regardless of the price level. So in the long run, real GDP will be independent of the price level, and the long run aggregate supply curve will be a vertical line at potential GDP, and this can be seen on a graph as potential GDP or as a long run aggregate supply curve. Here is the aggregate demand curve, and that is negatively sloped. Just like the aggregate supply curve, the horizontal axis shows the real GDP and the vertical axis shows the price level. The AD curve is negatively sloped from left to right, which means a decrease in the aggregate price level leads to an increase in the amount of total spending on domestic goods and services. Even though the aggregate demand curve looks like a microeconomic demand curve, it does not operate the same way. So why is the aggregate demand curve downward sloping? The first reason is the wealth effect. As the price level increases, the buying power of savings that people have saved up will diminish, eaten away to some extent by inflation, because a rise in the price level reduces people's wealth. Consumption spending will fall as the price level rises. Increase interest rate effect. As prices of output rise, the same purchases will take more money or credit to accomplish. This additional demand for money and credit will push interest rates higher, which will reduce borrowing by business for investment purpose and reduce borrowing by households for home and cars, thus reducing consumption and investment spending. Foreign price effect. If price rise in the domestic country while remaining fixed in other countries, then the goods in the domestic country will be relatively more expensive compared to goods in the rest of the world. A higher domestic price level relative to price levels in other countries will reduce next export expenditures. Here is the interpretation of the aggregate supply and the aggregate demand and aggregate supply model. So draw your x and y axis, label the x-axis as real GDP and the y-axis as the price level. Plot AD on your graph, then plot aggregate supply on your graph. Determine where AD and S intersect and look at the graph to determine where equilibrium is located. Determine what the steep portion of the aggregate supply curve indicates. Draw conclusions from the given information. If equilibrium occurs in the flat range of AS, then economy is not close to potential GDP and will be experiencing unemployment but stable price level. If equilibrium occurs in the steep range of the aggregate supply curve, then the economy is closer at the potential GDP and will be experiencing rising prices levels or inflationary pressures but will have a low unemployment rate. Examining the AS and aggregate demand model, considering the following: what is the equilibrium price level and real GDP? So if you look at this, B is the right answer. At this price level, the real GDP quantity demanded and real GDP quantity supplied per trillion are equal. So this is the equilibrium price level. Shift in the aggregate demand. Demand shocks. Events that shift the aggregate demand curve. Positive demand shocks, a rightward shift in the aggregate demand. Negative shocks means a leftward shift in the aggregate demand curve. Business confidence. If business feel more confident, ceteris paribus, then firms tend to spend more on investment, believing that the future payoff from the investment will be substantial. If business confidence drops, then investment spending declines. Consumer confidence. When consumers feel more confident about the future of the economy, other things remaining the same, they tend to increase spending. When they feel less confident, they tend to decrease spending. Shift in the aggregate supply curve. Negative supply shock, a leftward shift in the short-run aggregate supply and long-run aggregate supply curves. Positive supply shocks, a rightward shift in the short-run aggregate supply and long-run aggregate supply curves. Stagflation, and this is an economy which experiences stagnant growth and high inflation at the same time. Supply shock, an event that shifts both short-run and long-run aggregate supply curves. When an economy's output increases and the price level increases, the blank curve has shifted to the blank. So you can choose one of the answers. The most productive growth shifts the aggregate supply curve. The most important factor shifting the aggregate supply curve is productivity growth, and it means how much output can be produced with a given quantity of inputs. Productivity grows so that the same quantity of labor can produce more output. The real growth in the GDP per capita is in an advanced economy like the United States has averaged about 2% to 3% per year. Productivity growth has been faster during the certain extended periods like the 1960s and the late 90s through the early 2000s, or slower during periods like 1970s. Here are the business cycles and growth in the aggregate demand aggregate supply model. Business cycles represent sloping down, declining, the speeding up of the economy, or more formally recessions and expansions. The aggregate demand aggregate supply model gives us one way to understand business cycles. Recessions occurs as a result of the negative demand or supply shocks, which cause the equilibrium level of real GDP to fall substantially below potential GDP. In the ADAS diagram, cyclical unemployment is shown by how close the economy is to potential or full employment GDP level. Cyclical unemployment increases when the output falls substantially below the potential GDP on the ADS diagram is at equilibrium point E naught. Inflationary pressure in the ADAS diagram. The ADAS framework implies two ways that inflationary pressures may rise. If aggregate demand continues to shift to the right when the economy is already at or near potential GDP and full employment, thus pushing the macroeconomic equilibrium into steep portion of the aggregate supply curve. Here are some questions for quick review. These are some other questions. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, kindly do subscribe and do not forget to click on the bell icon so that you can get notification about some other useful videos that I'll upload for you. Thank you and have a good afternoon. See you in another video soon. Thank you.